Welcome back, listeners. This is our final episode of the series.
We're bouncing from Jimmy Carr's idea of luck versus work to cancel culture, anxiety, and authenticity.
And also the funniest part, how to treat being canceled like free publicity?
Free publicity sounds like a mindset you can only build after getting hit a few times.
But do you buy the luck argument? Because I keep thinking luck is real.
I buy the point about perception, how we label one person talent and another lucky.
Yeah, like Margot Robbie is born perfect, while Oppenheimer is born brainy plus disciplined.
Exactly. Work ethic is heritable too, but we refuse to see it as luck.
It's like society only credits the oxygen, never the breathing.
And then the butterfly effect stuff, asteroids, Hiroshima, Kyoto, makes it feel terrifying.
Wait, the Hiroshima story being tied to one guy's holiday is insane.
It's terrifying because it makes you feel powerless, like your life depends on holiday schedules.
But then he flips to agency, locus of control, character, reputation, so you don't spiral.
And that's where it lands. Luck explains less than we think, but responsibility still matters.
My issue is always the edge cases. What if you genuinely can't control outcomes?
True, but even in edge cases, you can control how you show up and what you build.
So character is the internal story and reputation is the external one, and both can get wrecked, right?
Reputation gets hit more often, like cancelled once every 18 months, with Netflix timing the crime.
My special drops today, so somewhere I'm being canceled right now. That line killed me.
The way he frames cancel culture as new book burning is spicy, but not crazy.
I push back, though. Some cancellations are people getting consequences, not book-burning theater.
Sure, but he's emphasizing that criticism of ideas can turn into punishment of people.
And he's basically saying he doesn't self-censor, which creates that no-filter connection.
The authenticity demand is real. People crave vulnerability because public life is so curated now.
It's like we all live with a mute button on, and then comedy unmutes us.
That's why the podcast and stand-up feel connected. Less performance, more inside my head.
Still, I worry no filter gets confused with no responsibility.
Yeah, but he separates apologize for jokes from acknowledging impact. Those are different games.
His right-size advice is the best. What happened? You told a joke and some people didn't like it.
That's so brutally normal it deflates the whole catastrophe mode.
Let's talk anxiety because that part was weirdly practical.
He says anxiety is trying to solve a future problem that isn't happening yet.
But anxiety does attach to something. Work, kids, environment, so it's not totally unanchored.
I think his claim is more like the anxiety is a baseline fuel, and your brain selects the current label.
Like it's a browser tab that keeps reopening, but you keep renaming it, this time it's real.
And his cure, give yourself more to do right now, is basically behavioral momentum.
The gym analogy is perfect. How can you spiral when you're wrestling a dumbbell?
Mind can't multitask that hard, not unless you do cardio while catastrophizing.
I also like the idea that people think anxiety is about a specific threat, but it's just noise that grabs attention.
That makes it feel less like I'm broken and more like I have a system running.
Then we went into do people know you truly and the 3 lives thing.
Secret, private, public, and he argues public versions can still be authentic.
But is it authentic or just the mask you chose? Because that's the trap.
He would say it's both. Authenticity on stage and authenticity in this kind of long-form conversation.
And he made it concrete by saying the book and podcast are like lunch conversations.
That's what you want from a conversation. Less role, more person.
Then we got the most chaotic swing, his environmental pivot to nuclear energy.
He's basically proposing a nuclear reactor in every city like it's a microwave.
I can admire the confidence and still question the practicality and public trust part.
Same. Politics reward short cycles, so he's trying to fix incentives with a long-term payoff story.
If there's a submarine in every backyard policy, I'm not applying for that zoning approval.
But it's still a good example of how he thinks. Go for the mechanism, not the vibes.
And then AI, he calls it a covers band, not creative genius.
I think he's underestimating emergent creativity sometimes, but I get his point about originality.
Covers band is a sick metaphor, though, like, yes, it plays your favorite song, but did it write one?
Also, the innovator's dilemma bit, upward opportunity versus downward opportunity, explains why incumbents miss changes.
And his jab at podcasting, nobody asked for long-form conversations, but people eavesdrop anyway.
That felt true. The real demand wasn't new format, it was connection and conversation.
The world loves a vacuum, then pretends it always wanted it filled.
Which brings us back to the core. Do what you do authentically, because the audience follows curiosity.
But authenticity is hard when the incentive is to optimize yourself constantly.
That's why he keeps circling back to sticking to process, not chasing marginal gains forever.
And he basically says, tiny daily commitments build self-trust, confidence as stored proof.
The self-story idea, what you do becomes who you are, was annoyingly motivating.
Like the Chris Eubank treadmill cramp story, no one's watching, but he still finishes the commitment.
That's the best kind of motivation, internal, not performative.
And the finale message to his 20-year-old self, be more present, more process, more fun.
Okay, that's a perfect ending note for the series. Process over results, character over chaos.
Also, stay out of the sun is the most gangster health advice we've gotten.
Truly, that and go to the gym 3 times a week are like cheat codes.
That's it from us. Thanks for hanging with these conversations all the way to the end.
If you enjoyed the series, keep talking to people, keep questioning your certainty, and we'll see you next time.
I keep thinking about that whole luck framing like it's basically factory settings.
Yeah, and it's weird, because people call one person lucky and the other genius.
Barbie gets lucky genetics, but Oppenheimer gets built different, right?
The point is, work ethic is heritable too, so luck isn't just vibes.
And then the conversation slams into agency like, okay, so what do I do with that?
Which is where locus of control came in. Put the steering wheel closer to you.
He basically separated character and reputation is the part that takes hits.
Reputation gets cancelled once every 18 months. What a healthy cadence.
Netflix special drops today felt like he predicted the timing of the internet's mood swing.
But I liked the deeper take. Cancelling is exposure, not necessarily consequence.
Like the pathogen escapes the lab, clip goes viral, then everyone pretends they discovered it.
Still, it's not fake damage. Platforms decide reach, and reach affects careers.
True, but he's pushing that cancel culture is a new kind of book burning.
And the Beatles' record burning comparison, like, did that age well?
It's such a smug historical flex, like you're angry at yesterday's truth, congrats.
I also liked how he treated adversity as a filter for friendships, not just pain.
That party friends versus tough times friends line hit me way harder than I expected.
Because comedy is built on vulnerability and openness, low filter, high connection.
The bus stop has tons of filter, stage has basically none, so people feel seen.
And that explains why long-form conversation and podcasts exploded, gap between public and private.
Exactly. Everyone's watching the highlight reel, but nobody's hearing the real internal monologue.
So when someone talks depression or mental health, it's like, oh my God, that's my brain.
And then the other machine kicks in, the anxiety machine at 4 a.m.
Counterfactuals, worst-case scenarios, like your mind is trying to solve tomorrow's disaster today.
He framed anxiety as not tied to a specific thing, more like a level that attaches to whatever's foreground.
Which sounds obvious after hearing it, but most of us still blame the wrong culprit.
My anxiety is about this email. No, your anxiety is just unemployed and wants attention.
And his practical fix was giving yourself more to do in the present, like the gym principle.
You can't be anxious while lifting. Your body is like, we have work, shut up.
That's why solve now, not later felt so human, not self-helpy.
But I'm curious, does it really cure anxiety or just distract it until it returns?
Fair question. But he wasn't claiming a magic switch. It sounded like management, not eradication.
Still, the man basically said, anxiety is a problem-solving job you can't quit.
And he even related it to creativity. Mind-whirring, can't turn off, so it keeps generating threats.
Creativity as a gift and a liability. Twin engines. That's accurate and annoying.
Then we jumped from anxiety to, What do you control? Character commitments.
The self-story thing. Reputation is what people think, but your actions write who you believe you are.
Like Eubank pushing through cramps because he promised himself 20 kilometers.
No one's there is the whole plot. That's when the lie dies.
And when the lie dies, confidence is basically, I kept my word again.
He also basically roasted New Year's resolutions, because if you fail, you teach yourself you're unreliable.
I'm not against resolutions, but I get the logic. Pick something small enough to keep forever.
And process over results again, because results are random, but process builds the person.
Which loops back to luck. If luck is partly fixed, process is the part you can still train.
That also explains why erasing traumatic moments isn't what most people want.
Yeah, the eraser test idea. Don't delete pain. Keep character.
And those butterfly effect stories were insane, like holidays deciding history.
The Kyoto before nukes logic is such a plot twist for physics and morality at the same time.
It makes you feel powerless. Then agency comes in like a hand on your shoulder. Don't waste the steering wheel.
And comedy becomes this weird agency tool, moving Overton windows with jokes instead of sermons.
I agree with the intent, but I still think free speech arguments need nuance around harm.
Totally, but I liked his framing. Criticism of ideas is real, cancelling people is different.
He kept saying book burning, like the world's repeating itself with better cameras.
And we ended up on talk to everyone as a growth strategy, even if you disagree.
That idea that not listening entrenches you. Identity politics as the echo chamber factory.
And he even said he follows people he finds repulsive, because that's where the real learning is.
Which is emotionally brave or just incredibly masochistic, probably both.
Right? But if you can stay open-minded, you can turn friction into signal.
And the episode kept reminding us that who you are shows up in tiny choices.
Tiny choices, repeated. Character compounds like interest, unlike luck.
That's why the 20-year-old advice landed. More process, more fun. Be present.
More present and less outcome chasing. Let the journey write the self-story.
Also, stay out of the sun is the most gangster health protocol ever.
Truly. And gym 3 times a week is basically a mythic cheat code.
That's the finale message. Character over chaos, commitments over vibes.
Thanks for hanging with this series all the way through. Keep questioning yourself.
Keep talking to people, keep listening, and we'll see you next time.
Peace, process over results, every time.
Quick recap in my head, luck isn't fixed, it's factory settings plus work, right?
Yeah, and we went deep on agency, locus of control, and what character really is.
Then we sprinted into cancel culture like free publicity, but with real costs.
And anxiety got treated like a machine that just runs counterfactuals when you're idle.
I liked the anxiety is just anxiety take, but part of me hates it.
Why? Because it refuses to blame one trigger and that makes it harder to manage?
Exactly. If I can name the trigger, I feel like I can fix it.
But if anxiety is a baseline, it's more like temperature than a specific fire.
That's actually a cleaner model, like your brain is always running, just attaches to whatever's loud.
And the gym example was so good. Instant problem in the now, so the future panic can't fit.
So the cure is basically pick up a heavy thing and bully your own mind.
You bully the mind, and the mind can't keep predicting a disaster while you're lifting.
My anxiety would simply predict the disaster of my form collapsing.
That's the training version of it. Mind stays busy, even if it's annoying.
The butterfly effect part earlier was wild, though. Asteroids, Kyoto, Hiroshima timing.
That's the moment where luck stops being philosophical and becomes terrifyingly structural.
Like one man's holiday could reroute history, and then you feel powerless instantly.
Yeah, and that's where agency has to step in, otherwise your brain spirals into helplessness.
We kept landing on locus of control. What can I influence? What can I show up for?
And then the distinction between reputation and character. Reputation can get hit, character shouldn't.
You get cancelled once in a while sounded like a frequency, not a crisis.
I mean, cancellations are different in severity, so the once every 18 months math feels comedic, not comforting.
Right. The frequency is funny. The fallout rarely is.
But his angle was, jokes repel some people, they attract others, so accept the magnet physics.
And he framed cancel culture like modern book burning. Same energy, new packaging.
The critique wasn't don't criticize, it was don't erase people for ideas you dislike.
Also, the pathogen escapes the lab when the Netflix special drops. Iconic line.
That's such a comedian way to describe virality. Contagious, unintended exposure.
Still, I push back. Sometimes exposure isn't neutral. Power dynamics matter.
True. And we didn't fully resolve that tension, did we? Between free speech and harm.
But the conversation did push the listener toward accountability without hysteria.
And I loved the eraser test idea. 95% wouldn't erase their most traumatic moment.
Because you don't just erase pain, you erase character. Like, I'll keep my self-story, thanks.
That's basically resilience disguised as trivia about what you'd delete if time travel existed.
But it also implies something uncomfortable. Hard moments built your identity, so erasing them breaks you.
Exactly. Your growth is entangled with the bruise.
And then we circle back to luck being entangled with effort. Barbie lucky for looks, Oppenheimer not lucky for IQ.
Which is hilarious because IQ comes with work ethic in the story too.
That was the perception argument. We treat luck as fixed for women and as talent or ethics for men.
Not even women, but the framing, like society's mental model assigns credit differently.
And the practical outcome is, if luck isn't fixed, you become more forgiving of others and maybe yourself.
That forgiveness fuels agency instead of fatalism.
Okay, but forgive me. If luck is partly system and partly background, then who's responsible for anything?
You still choose your locus of control. You can't control the asteroid, but you can control your next action.
Next action is the anti-doom button.
And that's where his anxiety fix fits. Give yourself something to do right now.
Like the mind wants to solve the future, but you can't solve the future while your body is doing a task.
So you redirect, writing jokes, lifting weights, choosing presence, anything that anchors the now.
My now anchor is procrastinating with intention.
That's still counterfactuals, just centered with productivity theater.
The self-story part was the other anchor, though. Promises to yourself become identity updates.
Confidence as accumulated commitments. Small wins you can trust.
And New Year resolutions being bad because you set up a future you might fail to maintain.
Pick something small, repeatable, so you don't pathologically let yourself down.
Pathologically let ourselves down in small ways should be printed on a gym wall.
It's the motivational poster nobody asked for.
And we ended with the 20-year-old advice. Enjoy yourself more. Be present. Worry less about only outcomes.
Process over results. Let the journey write the self-story, not the spreadsheet.
You could say the spreadsheet is the anxiety machine's favorite toy.
Facts. It weaponizes tomorrow.
All right. Series wrap energy. What's your keep this from all three themes? Luck, cancellation, anxiety?
That luck isn't destiny. Character survives noise, and anxiety hates being given a real task now.
Same, and I'll add, keep promises to yourself because confidence is built, not found.
Perfect. Thanks for hanging with this season and questioning yourself the whole way through.
Keep talking to people, keep listening, and we'll see you on the next series.
Peace. Process over results every time.
Okay, welcome back. Final episode vibes, but the brain is still on.
We wrestled three monsters: luck versus control, cancel culture versus character, and anxiety as a future panic engine.
And honestly, I loved how it kept flipping I can't into I can slightly.
Slightly is the most powerful unit of measurement in life, bro.
Luck talk was the warm-up because it messes with your assumptions.
Yeah, like when you realize chance might be second and third order chaos.
But don't let it become everything is random, because then agency dies.
Exactly. Luck isn't destiny. It's just the background radiation you manage.
Background radiation is such a wild metaphor, but it's clean.
If your life got nuked because someone took a different vacation, cool, great.
That Hiroshima-Kyoto angle is brutal because it makes you feel powerless.
Yeah, butterfly effect isn't comforting. It's more like emotional whiplash.
So then the conversation snaps back to responsibility, right?
Agency, locus of control, character first, reputation second.
Reputation is fragile glass. Character is the foundation you keep rebuilding.
And reputation gets tapped like once every 18 months on Netflix, allegedly.
The cancel culture part was almost medical, like the pathogen escapes the lab.
That line was hilarious and also terrifyingly accurate about snippets going viral.
But I push back. Cancel culture isn't always free publicity. Sometimes it's punishment.
True, but the key move was right-sizing it from life is over to people disliked a joke.
Which is a deceptively hard mental reframe in the moment.
And the eraser test idea, would you delete your most painful moment?
Most people would not erase it because it shaped who they trust themselves to be.
That's the keep my character thanks energy.
I like how we went from cosmic luck to petty workplace cancellation in one breath.
That's why it felt real, because the scale changes but the psychology stays the same.
Speaking of psychology, anxiety got treated like a machine with a purpose.
Like the mind is whirring at 4 a.m. doing counterfactual surgery.
Anxiety's favorite hobby is explaining a tragedy that hasn't been scheduled.
And I liked the claim that anxiety isn't about something specific. It attaches to whatever's foreground.
That's such a relieving idea because it means you can interrupt the pattern.
Interrupt by giving yourself immediate tasks. No future to solve when you lift the damn thing.
You can't be anxious while you're working out is basically therapy with reps.
Yeah, because your attention has to land somewhere concrete, not in what-if loops.
Do you think most people just try to reason their anxiety away?
They debate the thought like it's a real board meeting. Meanwhile, it's just noise.
The mind is like, let's draft a worst-case scenario memo.
And you're like, great, now what do we do at noon?
The deeper connection was, luck shrinks, agency grows, and anxiety loses power.
Exactly. Anxiety hates agency because it can't steer the future anymore.
It's like giving the anxiety machine a job description instead of a blank check.
And the advice that stuck for me was building confidence via kept promises to yourself.
Not believe in yourself, but prove it to yourself.
New Year's resolutions are dangerous because they're basically planned self-betrayal.
Right, if your brain loves punishing you, it will learn your pattern.
Pick something small you can actually do, then repeat it until it becomes identity.
That self-story thing is wild too. Everything you do writes the autobiography.
Like Chris Eubank cramping and still finishing. No audience, still commitment.
That's commitment cosplay, but effective cosplay.
It's confidence as accumulated evidence, not vibes.
And it circles back to cancellation too. Character survives noise if you trust your process.
Which is why edgy jokes aren't just edgy, they're also a test of free expression.
I still think we should separate critique of ideas from punishment of people.
Totally. Discussion yes, dehumanization no, and the middle ground needs defenders.
Meanwhile, the internet wants either burn it or worship it. No nuance allowed.
Nuance is like spinach. People complain, but it's good for you.
What's your actual takeaway you'll carry into the next chapter?
I'll carry the do the next right task now rule when anxiety shows up.
And I'll carry right-size the event. Cancelled isn't cancelled if character stays intact.
Same, and that luck thing becomes a permission slip to work harder without idolizing fate.
So that's my wrap. Luck isn't destiny, character survives, and anxiety hates real work.
Perfect, and keep promises to yourself, because confidence is built, not found.
Thanks for hanging with this season and questioning yourself the whole way through.
Keep talking to people, keep listening, and we'll catch you next series.
Welcome back. This is our final ride together, and it's loud in the brain.
We wrestled luck versus agency, what cancel culture does to identity, and how anxiety tries to run your life.
The luck part is messing with me, like why do we label some people born lucky?
Because we pretend work ethic isn't heritable, which is adorable.
Right, we're like, she's just beautiful, but for the guy we say 170 IQ, obviously.
And the real problem is our brain fixes luck as destiny, instead of seeing it as a factor.
It's like the same universe, but our captions change depending on who you are.
Remember the Hiroshima and Kyoto butterfly effect story? That's where it gets weirdly personal.
Yeah, one guy's holiday could decide whether cities exist. How is that not terrifying?
Terrifying, but also it changes how small control really means.
Control is like choosing your lane, not steering the whole highway.
Exactly, and that's why agency lands. Where you can, you show up and fight.
Locus of control inside yourself, character first, reputation second, right?
Reputation gets cancelled like it's a recurring subscription, and character is the cancel-resistant version.
But canceling still hurts in the moment. Why does it feel catastrophic even when it's just noise?
Because the mind treats public rejection like an identity death, not a disagreement with a joke.
Just a joke is the most brutal sentence because your nervous system hears you're unsafe.
The framework that helped is basically right-size it. Something happened, but your character stays.
I love that "Who's Jimmy Carr" line, like the offended universe is tiny once you zoom out.
And then the eraser test idea. Most people wouldn't erase their hardest moments anyway.
Because erasing the pain erases the growth, not just the embarrassment.
Also, you don't build trust in yourself by deleting the evidence that you survived.
This is why cancel culture becomes free publicity sometimes, like the machine accidentally promotes the thing it tries to kill.
Not always, but the paradox is real. Attention amplifies the story, and stories spread.
Book-burning vibes, except now it's clips, tweets, and an algorithm with no librarian.
What I couldn't stop thinking, the gap between public and private life is widening.
So comedy becomes this weird relief valve, like finally someone talking without a filter.
Because the demand is authenticity, but supply is mostly curated vacations.
And once people hear vulnerability on stage, they recognize something they're starving for.
Which is why long-form conversation feels like oxygen. Nobody needs the olive oil. They need community.
The olive oil isn't making any difference is such a savage line, but true.
Then we moved from social life to mental life, anxiety machine time.
Bro, anxiety at 4 a.m. isn't about that one issue. It's the mind generating future horror trailers.
The claim was, anxiety is a base level, then your brain attaches it to whatever's front of mind.
So it's not anxiety about the show, it's anxiety wearing the show as a costume.
Right? So the cure is giving the mind an immediate job, not letting it roam in counterfactuals.
Like the gym metaphor, when you've got to lift the thing now, there's no room for dread.
That's such a practical philosophy. If the problem is future only, solve by acting in the present.
Do the next right task now becomes a brain hack, basically.
And it fits with the agency theme too. Your future fears hate concrete action.
I also liked the idea that anxiety tries to simulate control, but it can't fix tomorrow from inside today.
It's like the mind wants to solve a problem that hasn't arrived, then punishes you for it.
Anxiety. Let's negotiate with an event that hasn't happened yet. Terrible negotiator.
So if you shift from, why am I anxious, to what do I do right now, you cut the loop.
That's the same energy as right-sizing cancellations. You don't spiral, you re-anchor.
And then we went full character building. Promises to yourself, small commitments, no New Year fantasy.
New Year resolutions are just anxiety with better fonts.
Pick something small you can keep. Build confidence by proving it to yourself.
The self-story concept was actually wild. Everything you do writes who you are.
The idea that if you're the person who limps to 20K, you're also the person who keeps the promise later.
How you do anything is how you do everything, but at treadmill speed.
And that's why character survives luck. You're still the author when the randomness hits.
But then we got into a twist, environmentalism and nuclear as the future solution.
I'm not saying I'm fully on board with the pitch, but the underlying logic is about incentives and timelines.
Longer terms, less politician rewards on a 5-year cycle? Yes, that part I get.
The submarine reactor in every city thing is insane, but it's aiming at scale and speed, not aesthetics.
That was basically a planning meeting with a sci-fi budget.
And that segued into AI. His take was, it's a covers band, not consciousness.
Covers band is a hilarious way to say it recombines but doesn't originate, at least for now.
The comforting part was job evolution. New jobs appear, old ones transform, like podcasting itself.
People act like the future is one static disaster movie, when historically it's more like constant remixing.
Downward versus upward innovation also clicked for me. Incumbents chase what customers already ask for.
And customers didn't ask for 3-hour conversations. They just wanted connection.
Podcasting was a vacuum-filling miracle, not a product roadmap.
Which brings us back to the whole series vibe. Do what you do authentically, but keep it honest.
And keep talking to people you don't fully agree with, because refusing conversation hardens identity.
There was something slightly rebellious in that. Speak freely, move the Overton window.
Not in a be reckless forever where, more like, don't pretend discomfort equals danger.
Also, the practical how to manage anxiety and how to survive cancellation are basically the same skill.
Anchor in character, act in the present, and right-size the event. Luck can't steal that.
And if anxiety shows up again, we already know the script. Next task, not future doom.
Exactly. Build promises you can keep, then let your self-story get stronger.
All right, that's episode 2 done. Thank you for riding this series with us.
Keep listening, keep questioning, and we'll see you in the next series. Same curiosity, new chapter.
Welcome back, man. This is episode 2, the final one.
We wrapped 3 threads: luck versus agency, cancellation as character stress test, and anxiety as future noise.
The luck thing hit me. Like, why do people call beauty luck but IQ work?
Yeah, because we're allergic to the idea that both work ethic and talent are built.
So we watch Barbie and go, born blessed, but we watch Oppenheimer and go, obviously optimized.
Which is wild, because one of those is clearly also neurons plus repetition.
Exactly. There's this fixed fate mental model, and it makes us oddly fatalistic.
And then agency shows up like, cool, but what can you actually control today?
Agency as in locus of control inside yourself, not pretend outcomes are guaranteed.
Right. And that's why cancel culture matters here. It tests your internal story instantly.
Like being right externally is reputation, but character is what you keep when people turn.
Reputation gets cancelled. Character gets audited. Same day, different metrics.
I love the line about respectability being a prison with the gates open.
Yeah, everyone's desperate to be inside, but the scary part is you can't breathe in there.
What do you think about the new book-burning take, though?
I get the metaphor, but it's messy. Sometimes criticism is real, sometimes it's just a bonfire.
Totally. Like there's a difference between judging an idea and torching a person.
But cancel storms treat humans like stray props in a theater scene.
And then comedians are basically canaries in the mine, because jokes are high signal and low filter.
Comedy is the fastest way to find out where society's Overton window is bruised.
Not just what's acceptable, but what people can't admit they feel.
Which ties back to your whole luck agency thread, because authenticity is the control lever.
Authenticity as a weapon? That's dangerous wording, bro.
Fine. Authenticity as an antidote to being controlled by the audience.
Speaking of control, the anxiety machine part, that was so good it felt personal.
The idea that anxiety isn't about a specific thing, it's just a level that attaches to whatever's front of mind.
That totally reframes it, like anxiety is a background engine, not a prophecy.
And the cure is annoyingly simple. Give your brain immediate tasks so it can't zoom into the future.
That gym analogy is perfect. Can you be anxious while you're trying to lift the damn thing?
You can try, but your shoulders will unionize and revolt.
But do you think every anxiety case is solved by more to do?
Not every case. People with clinical anxiety need more than scripts. But for a lot of future doom, yeah.
Because the future problem is the weird trap, right? You're trying to solve something that doesn't exist yet.
Exactly. The mind creates a problem in the future, then demands your present effort like it's urgent.
So you shift. What's the next action? Not, what's the catastrophe?
Next task is the anti-doom button.
And that circles back to canceled character. Because in the moment, you right-size the event.
Like, you told a joke some people didn't like. That's it? That's the whole plot?
Right. And meanwhile, your nervous system is acting like it's the apocalypse.
Which is why promises to yourself matter. Character is built in small, repetitive wins.
The keep commitments to yourself thing felt powerful. Confidence as accumulated trust.
Confidence isn't vibes, it's receipts. Little promises you can actually keep.
New Year's resolutions are basically setting yourself up for a courtroom trial, though.
Yeah, because if you break them, you're teaching your brain, I can't rely on me.
Pick something small but make it real. Like, write 20 minutes, not transform my life.
That's why the little and often routine for material creation was so satisfying, too.
He was basically hacking progress. Try new stuff nightly. Build a new show from reps.
Which is the antidote to luck thinking, because reps are the bridge between what you can control and what happens.
And then there's this butterfly effect layer, where randomness can look terrifying.
The minute later or earlier stories really mess with your sense of control, don't they?
Yeah, it can make you feel powerless, like one trip decides who lives.
But agency is still there. You can't control the system, but you can control how you respond inside it.
So the whole worldview becomes accept the randomness, refuse paralysis, anchor in character.
That's the mashup, bro. Luck explains variance, agency explains action.
And anxiety is just the mind demanding a verdict before the evidence arrives.
Future is a hostile courtroom. Present is where you actually live.
Do you think people get addicted to certainty because it feels like safety?
Totally. Certainty feels like control, but it's often just fear wearing a suit.
Then comedy, freedom to say stuff, becomes this practice space for honest discomfort.
And listeners feel it because the gap between public and private is so huge lately.
People are starving for real conversation, not polished announcements.
And that's why longer-form stuff keeps winning. Humans crave connection, not just information.
All right, we're ending on that. Connection, character, and the next task.
Exactly. Anchor yourself, right-size the noise, and keep building the story you can trust.
This has been episode 2, Natural-Born Luck, Cancelled Character, and the Anxiety Machine.
Thanks for riding the series with us. Keep questioning, and we'll see you in the next chapter.